And Joyce, where have you been?
They can't class car, right? Almost 3 days. It was yesterday. And then you could try with your own van down. And their own van down. Just a second.
That on the day of prayer, I didn't come. 15 days, you didn't come. Yesterday, you didn't come. This one, they didn't have no life. For life, there's no mountain. One day. Hi, Imam. Hey, Imam. Baba. Oh, wait, no. Okay, you're busy here. You can't want. Let's speak with your book. Can I hold on? No, baby. This is the one. This is That's the idea for the Sunday. With the bomb. I know that. That is after 1 hour. This is Bobo. One year, you was a water. Yes, you know.
Okay, guys, so let's start. Please, according to the write-up on the course outline I sent to the group, can you remind us of what we are supposed to do? Do you have it? Group name, because we want to follow the course outline in detail without, What do we have this week?
Today or
This week, within this week. Frank, do you really shake your hand? What's there? So you guys are not following. So what is there, please? Yes. Hey, can you give me this guy's number? I always want. His name is not Save Bismarck, so when I type Bismarck, I say Inshira baby over there. Inshira. Java what? That's what is there.
Last one 71. 0544.
Okay. 054462 0544462
5971.
Okay. What I'm getting is not.
No, that one.
Zero.
Other type is 0557.
0557 that's the one. Okay, so today we are going. When you check, what did you?
90. 8. No, 16.
Are you getting the sound? Are you getting the sound? Hello? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I said no. Now, what are we teaching on the 8th?
Hello.
Please refresh the YouTube channel. Can you do it on the screen? Okay, let's go. I think I need a physical keyboard.
Non-destructive design approach.
Non-destructive. I think we did that one long ago. You start from, if you are confused, when we started with the shoot, the drama shoot. Side no, side wiki and a honey.
Yeah.
And I'm a boy.
Then it will be 8 again.
The 8th week, I know you're there anyhow.
Still non-destructive design approach. Edit non-destructively with smart objects. Understanding the pen tool for logo design.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's the 10th week, right?
No.
That's the 8th week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one is up to 23rd April.
Alright.
Today is 17.
Okay, so this week we are going to talk about logo designs. Yesterday we did something with the principles of design, so we tried designing the flyer. Some of you have sent me the design. I think just about 3 people. Mama Kano, Are, what's going on? I asked you to send it to me so that I will know whether Mordecai. So please design it and send it to me, and we'll be following the principle as we go on and applying it. And we'll do as many designs as we can so that it keeps us, it's practicing. That's what we do at CMI. So this week is logo design. But before we understand how to design a logo, we must understand the principle behind designing a logo. Now, last week we did principles of design. I want somebody to quickly just go over what we did. Mr. Ron.
2.
No, all.
Maybe I'm not here.
I want something to, I didn't hear what.
Yeah, I'm saying that the principle of design, can you mention at least 4 of them? I'm on for sure. Can you mention at least 4?
Emphasis.
Yes, emphasis. And then what else?
Contrast.
Contrast.
Proportion.
Proportion. Why are you laughing? Proportion, huh?
Proportion is part of it.
Yeah, it's part of it.
White space.
White space. And then what else? Movement. I think that was the last 2. Balance and then what? Gibson. Contrast, yes. Okay, I know you weren't here, Joyce, but what do you think emphasis is in design? The principle? No, I assume you probably watched the video, right?
Yes. I was here.
She was here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm just misunderstanding you.
The focal point of the design, that's focusing on the main idea of the design.
Yeah, something like that, but the main idea.
The core message of the design.
Yes, but there are some keywords I would love you to use in terms of. Yes, the core message. But there's one word which. So emphasis is really about what?
Hierarchy.
Thank you, that's the word I want you to use. Then contrast. Emphasis is about hierarchy, right? The who here and only be kesias in the heading. The who said here. Then the others too. William. Bozu. Contrast here. There's a contrast here. Exams sit down for virtual. Vigilator, how? To my margin say, mobile consulting. Eva. Jose. Okay, now let's move on. Let's start with the principle or the things you are supposed to take into consideration when designing a logo. Now, as graphic designers, trust me, one of the designs contract you will get is designing logos. People will always come to you, Charlie, is that why a graphic designer? Which made designing logo, man? So let's try and understand these basic principles. And if someone comes to you and the person wants to design a logo, if you ask the relevant questions, because you know your stuff, right? So the first principle is relevance. Okay, so please note that down, write it down. Relevance. Relevance is, before you design a logo, you just don't start designing. You have to find out what the goals, the ideals, of the company. For instance, CMI, what do we stand for? What do we do? What are we? We are an institution, we are a school, right? So you must ask these relevant questions from the person you are designing the logo for. Are you a seamstress? Are you a tailor? Is it for selling of engine? Do you have a shop? What do you sell? So the logo must be relevant to the audience that is going to what? To serve. And before that relevance can be connected, you must find out institution, say yeah, do more, because you cannot design a logo if you don't know what the company is about, right? Do you understand me? So relevance is very important. Ron came to me and he wanted to design a logo, and he says it's for a record label. I must ask, yes, of course, I might ask what kind of logo. Say it's a record label, so it's for music, right? And therefore, with this understanding, it will let me create something that is relevant to the audience that is going to serve. If not, the audience will be lost. If a music logo looks like, well, when it comes to record label, they can go crazy though. You can see two knives and but you still have to feel the music or entertainment bit in it. Do you understand it? So the relevance of the logo to the audience is very important. The second is scalability. A logo must be scalable. Now, there are some logos, after you are done, the words and the things that are in it are so tiny that when you scale it either too big or too small, it becomes unrecognizable. Right? I'm sure we all know the Twitter logo. We probably also know Twitter is now what? X, eh? And the X is just X. The logo is X. Scalability simply means that when we scale it and we try to put it on a mock-up like a t-shirt or probably on some place that is so small, or maybe you want to use it as a favicon, will people still recognize it? Amount for Behum. Is that their new logo? Are you guys with me? So a logo must be made. You should take into consideration the fact that it should be scalable. When it's big, of course, everybody will see it, but when it's made small and squished, will it still be visible? For instance, favicon. Favicons are those logos you see when you type a website name. I don't think this one has a favicon. You see that the logo icon shows at the top here, right? And those logos that have plenty words in it and looks complex, you will not you think it's just some bunch of dots or something. You will not recognize it. So logos are supposed to be what? Scalable. And logos are supposed to be original. And I think this one we all agree, right? You can pick inspiration, that's the word, it ends there. But you shouldn't copy. You can inspire yourself by going to places like Freepik, you can go to Pinterest. Yes, sir.
I just
Madam.
remember something. It is with the, how do you call it?
Apps.
Principles of design. And let's say we talk about how to balance and all of that.
Yeah.
Let's say you are designing a flyer for someone, and the person comes with a lot of pictures with different colors and all of that. How do you address that? Let's say maybe the person is a fashion designer, and the person has come for you to design maybe a flyer for the person, but then the clothes in their pictures, there are lots of busy colors and there are a lot. So how do you go about things like that?
Yeah, you have to find a way to create a collage with it. Right? The collage is this like a tile of images. I know where you are heading. Like you are trying to say, if because there are so many colors, and then you find a way to position them, you can see something like this here. It's a design, right? This is also a design. It's all a collage. And as we design, we'll get scenarios like that and then see how to make them still how to still make a good design out of pictures that have too many colors. So the collage is the thing you can use to sort of get a design to fit. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but it's one of the ways to get it. If your question is not answered, you can say it. No, you sure it's not. Alright, so let's move on with this. We took us back. Scalability. Then we also have originality. Originality is very important. I'm saying that you can pick inspiration, no doubt. You can. There's nothing really new under the sun. So if you are going to create something like a bakery company, why don't you Google bakery, world's popular bakery, and look at their designs and get yourself inspired by what they've done, so that you don't go too off. Are you with me? But in the end, please remain original. Let people see the distinctiveness. You can only see it with CMI. Right? So originality is one thing you should take into consideration. This one is probably the most important in my view. Reason is that people think a logo must look like some 3D, with some break and something. But trust me, the simplest logo are the most memorable logos. Right? So if you create a logo and I look at it once and it sticks in my head, that means I did a good job, or whoever created it did a good job. Example is Nike. Nike is just a check mark, right? I'm sure a lot of people would have been like, are they really, Charlie, can you add some legs, something, some head? No, let's keep it what? That check mark. Simplicity is very important when it comes to logo. The more your logo becomes complex, the more money you will spend to let it stick in the minds of people. Because it's too complex. So I bet you, as you keep promoting it for a very long time before people can say that this is a Tempe's logo. So try and keep it simple. But keeping it simple does not mean you should also keep it, what's the word? It shouldn't be too simple too, right? It should be something that looks good. So simple doesn't mean you just create a line and then you say that's my logo. It's too generic. The line, or you just create a circle.
I just have 3 lines.
You see what?
Adidas.
Yes, but a 3 line, there's a way they connect. So simplicity, and yet it's still unique. Are you guys with me? After chewing the goat and the cow, you just came back to sleep. Or that. So simplicity is very important, and in my view, is one of the things you look at when creating a logo. Then the next thing to look at is timelessness. Timelessness just simply means it's something that will stay from generation to, like, after 5 decades, the logo still looks cool. One of the logos that have stayed for a very long time is the Apple logo. Right? How does it look like? It's just an apple that I don't know who bit it. But that's what it is, right? So it's a simple. So keep it simple, and if you keep it simple, definitely it's going to be timeless. It's not going to have this, like, you're not going to be drawn into the modern. Some of them, in the end, you end up adding certain overlays, and you will be pushed to make it look. Then you lose the originality. It's like you are now changing it, right? So please make sure that now this probably is the most difficult thing to achieve, though. How do you make a logo timeless? How do you make it last forever? I've talked about the simplicity, but what else? I'm trying to brainstorm and see somebody can come up with.
You think about the future. Focus through the future.
You know what will happen in 100 years?
Everybody, if it should be still relevant at that time, that's how it is.
So it's all the simplicity thing. If it's simple, it will still be relevant. Because if it's complex, I'm not sure we are getting complex. Are we getting complex as people or human beings? Okay, so then logo should be balance and proportion, right? It doesn't matter if it's simple. It doesn't matter if you are trying to make it scalable and so on and so forth. Try and keep it balanced, because once again, our minds are always drawn to things that are balanced. It's just human nature, perfect line of symmetry. If I divide myself into half, you should see one eye here, another eye here. So balance and proportion is important. Then so the principles are just about 4. There are others, but Charlie, there's relevance, scalability, there is originality, there is simplicity. Here is timelessness, and then the last one is balance and proportion. Please, these are the principles. I still needed to get it out of the way before we can start designing logos, so that if I'm going off, I'll not go off though. I always stay within the principle and try to make it. But these are principles. They can be broken. Like I said, when it comes to the creative space, all the rules that are made for creative, it's someone who wrote it. When you break it and you are able to make sense with it, that becomes your principle. Yours too will be written. Alright, so if we now understand what makes a good logo, can we also know the type of logos before we start doing something? There are different types of logos you probably will see around on the internet, probably on a flyer, billboards, and so on. One of them is the monogram logos, aka letter marks. Monogram. What is a monogram logo or the letter marks? Well, a monogram is a logo that takes initials of the company and it just uses the initials to make the logo. CMI, our logo is a monogram, because you can see C, M, and what? I, and then we just have 2 squares and a circle in it. Okay? you can write all the Creative Media Institute. So a monogram uses the initials of the company and forms a logo with it. I think you can see examples there, but what other examples can you give apart from what you see on there? There's HBO, there's IBM, they are all initials of the company. NASA, NASA, right? What's the full meaning? Huh? NASA. Hey, watch out. So that's what is here. Can somebody read it out? National what? Aeronautics and Space Administration. Aeronautics. Okay, so this type of logo is a monogram logo or a letter mark. And so when a person comes and it's like, my company is Abusua Dwarves Bread and Masa. Few words near them. Maybe he wants the name to be remembered too. So you use the initials and find out if the initial sounds cool. Because some of them, yeah, KFC like this. I don't know whether KFC is, I don't know. What's the full meaning? Thank you. So that's a perfect example of what? A monogram. Alright, or letter mark logo. Then there's word mark logo. Word mark. So word mark is a type of logo that uses the company's name, and the names are sometimes meaningful or probably abstract. So example of letter mark logos are Google. We don't know what Google means, but we know that is the name of the company. It is not initials. It's not geometry of 111. It is word mark. It's a word and it's a logo at the same time. Pardon? Uber. Yeah, yes, I think Uber. How do you spell it? It's like this, eh? Yes, you are right. Uber is I think it's not a word marker. It's a monogram. It's not. That's the full word. Uber Technologies. Oh, okay. So it's Uber. So the Uber is the name. Yes. So you are right. So is a word mark. What other examples can you give? Nestle. So before you find out whether that's a word mark or the Uber is a perfect example. It's a word mark. It's just a name and it's also a logo. But they use special characters. That's one thing you should also know about word mark logos. You see that they spell the thing like Google, Google, but you can't use any font if you want to imitate the actual word logo. They use a special font. FIFA. FIFA is not a. FIFA is Federation of 111. No, but FIFA is not. Once it means something, the individual letters mean something, then it's a monogram. Federation, what's the meaning of FIFA? I know Federation starts. Yeah, so that one is not a word mark. That's a monogram or letter mark. Joyce, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, so please let's differentiate that. Word marks. Then another type is pictorial. These ones are more of symbols. And the symbols are supposed to give you an idea of what they are about. So pictorial shows sort of a symbol or a picture that makes a logo. Are we here? Like what? Yes, most of the cars use pictorial logos, but it's not. The cars is not really pictorial like that. That's probably the next type of logo. That's abstract. Most of the cars, what the logos they use, you cannot really. The pictorial logos look like something you can actually see in the real world. Like you can see, this is the head of what? A bird, right? This one here looks like an elephant. And this here looks like a fox. So it's a symbolic picture of something. Something we all know about. Yeah, Apple is a pictorial logo. Then this is the one you were talking about. Abstract logos. They don't really mean anything. It's just the person sat down, did some random stuff, and then the owner of the company said, "Wow," and that's it. They took it in. Jose. So that's abstract logo. Abstract marks or logos don't really, the difference between the abstract and the symbolic. The abstract, you cannot identify any real thing in the world with it. What does it look like? Does it look like a bird? Does it look like a horse? Does it look like a knife? It doesn't look like anything. It's abstract.
So what about the Burger King?
The what?
Burger King.
I don't know. Burger King. Oh, okay. Let me. Burger what?
But I can't see some game. Ferrari use horse.
So this one.
This one, yeah.
Yes, this one combines, and we are getting there. There are logos that combine abstract and then the letter mark. So it doesn't mean that you can't use two, you can even use 3 different logo types in designing your logo. So the pictorial will always look like something you can identify in the real world. It's symbolic. This one is abstract. Well, you can just imagine look like something, but it's probably not it. So example of these ones are here. I just got this one. This one is Renault, right? Pepsi, and then Adidas. Their logos are abstract. Except someone comes up and say, this one looks like or somebody said. Until then, it's abstract. It's something planted from the sky, from nowhere. FIFA. Then there's this logo. It's called mascot. Mascot logo. These logos use pictures as main symbols, like personal. It uses some character, sort of. It will find a way to use a character to make it the logo. Right, so for instance, you can see a frog, and there will be a reason for that. You can see the goat, So it uses the picture of real things. Are you confused? Where are you confused? Yeah, the pictorial uses symbols. It's symbolic of something in the real world. It's not actual picture of it. Like shell. You know the shell looks like the real shell. Right? But it is not a picture, or it doesn't have colorful way of the shell itself. It doesn't look like it. So this one here has the mascot. I mean, you feel it like they are trying to draw something. It's like a cartoon. Another example is, I think there's one, you mentioned, was it KFC or one of those popular rest stops or restaurants? It has this person with like a chef. KFC, yeah, it's mascot. Because that picture is symbolic of the. So there's a difference. So the pictorial that picture is symbolic of the brand, but the pictorial uses symbols. So for instance, if it's a spectacle, you will see just an outline of the spectacle, but it doesn't look so picture-like. It doesn't look like the spectacle itself. I don't know if you're not getting me. You can see this is a this is a bird, right? But where a bird's head. But it's not. If this was a mascot, you probably have the colors in it, and it looks like cartoon sort of. No, it is the feeling. No, it is the feeling that makes it mascot. You can see it has. Please just understand it like how it's there. Why? These are not my principles. These are not my principles. So if you want to differentiate it, you probably have to make it that the mascot has more colors and it's more vivid. The mascot. Okay, so let's see. I think you have a point. Mascot logo samples, right? So you can see here. You see that there's a difference between a mascot. It's actually like picture compared to the other one is what? Pictorial. Awesome. I think I have more examples here. So please, have you seen it? Do you now know why this is called mascot? So some of these are breaking the rules, right? Rules like simplicity. It's too complex. And that's why they are probably not popular. Do you agree?
Like mostly football teams.
We'll get there. Those are emblems. They are emblems, right? That's another type of logo. So this is mascot. This here, the combination mark. That one uses the letter mark and then the symbol. Now when you are starting logos, it's good to always use this one, where you use the abstract, the symbol or pictorial, and then you will use the combination mark, which means that you are putting the name of your company under it. So that if the company becomes popular, people can identify with the abstract logo. Then after that, you can take the name out and only show what? The logo. Do you understand me? So for instance, even though Pepsi is popular, they still, Adidas, this symbol is still popular, but they still show what? The Adidas, which is the name. So they combine the word mark and then what? The abstract what? Please, No, what is about it? What don't you understand? Please let me know. No, there's no research. I'm here. Ask me.
The combination mark is an example of Nestle company.
Yes, so sometimes they use the combination mark. That means that they will apply. You see, like I'm saying, these are the various types of logos we have. You've talked about monogram. Let me clear your mind on some things. The monogram is typically the name of a company, but they picked out the individual words. The first, the initials. What's your full name? No, that's not your full name. M-Pesa, I don't know. Joel what? Joel, that's a long name. So JSE. So that's going to be the monogram. Because your name is too long, so we adapted what? The JSE. Cheddar is now called what? JK something. What is the name? NBK was the name. So that's a monogram, right? And if you use the NKB or whatever, and you want to use it as a logo, that logo is called a monogram. Do you understand it? Yes. Okay. And so then we have this one. We said word mark. The word mark is a word like Samsung, right? Dell is a word, but it is also what? The logo itself. Only they use special characters. So even though Dell is DEL, you can see that the E is tilted. So if you want to imitate it, you have to make sure it's like that. Do you understand that one? Then there is pictorial. This is where the confusion started. And I said that pictorial or symbolic logos. Those ones look like symbols of something you can imagine, something that is in the real world, not imagine. So for instance, yes?
Lacoste. Can you identify the pictorial?
Lacoste. Let me see. I think it has a crocodile, right? Lacoste. Logo. We're very mascots. Because you see, it's not too symbolic of the crocodile. It's a crocodile itself. Do you understand it? It doesn't matter if you look cartoonish, it is still the crocodile itself.
What about Nestle?
Nestle, I mean, I always see the Nestle itself.
Like bird in a nest. Bird in a nest.
On top of the nest, the main nest.
Then we came to the abstract. The abstract, I think that one we all understand. It doesn't relate to symbols or it's not also a picture. You see it and it's just combination of shapes, but you cannot identify or compare it to something in real world and say, I did we say Sakunya and answer Setebo and answer Sewe. So that's abstract, right? Then here are examples of abstract logos. And then we came to mascot. Maybe this one should have come first. Combination mark. The combination mark combines the abstract and then the word mark and letter mark. Do you understand it? So you see the abstract there, but you also see the name under it. The logo there, but you also see the name. Ron, what are they? Yeah, so now you get it. So the mascot is just plenty drawings with colors. Shows a picture of this one, a goat. I think it has a flag at the back. Or then this one, I don't even know what it is. It says what? It is what? What do you think it is? Huh? Brain.
When there's a football tournament, you use a mascot. There's always a mascot for the game.
Those ones are emblems. These ones are emblems. And then the emblems are the most complex type of logos. Or which one are you talking about? I'm not getting it.
It's a tournament.
A tournament. They specifically have a mascot for the tournament. They're like AFCON, you see, when the Ivorians. There was a mascot that looked like an elephant. A human being.
So that's what they decided the logo should look like. That one, the decision to make a mascot logo.
Yeah.
So you realize that emblem logos are usually for what? Who can tell me? Someone said it. For what? Emblem. They are usually for what? Sports and what? And schools, right? I've never seen a school logo that looks, apart from the like new ones like CMI and others that are, those ones look simple. But if you look at schools, they all have this circle. So the crest and all those things is an emblem. Because it has some of them has a tiger, a lion beside it, and that one is an emblem logo. They don't care if people remember it or not. It's just they need to capture everything within that word, that logo. Tell you a lot about the school. Coat of. I went to Prempeh College. So Prempeh, where our logo, Sumanin him the ending in our head. So Umpo, Sane head. The logo with the traditional Angasa Asante mine. So this one is what? You can feel the traditional Ashanti thing, Prempeh College in it. But it's an emblem. It is not word mark, it is not abstract, it is not monogram. It's called what? Emblem. And they've tried to modernize it a bit. But it is still same thing. Achimota. I'm for no Achimota. Is there Achimota College and Achimota there? Some of the young one on better one. Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah, my mind didn't even count, but it's also quite popular. This one is Chimota School. Simple. Honestly, I like it more than the Prempeh one. I'm not going to say because I went to Prempeh, but I like this one. It looks simple. It looks clean. It looks okay. So. That's it. Any questions so far on this logo designs and logo?
What of flags?
What of what?
The country flag.
Flag.
Yeah, like Ghana flag like this. But it's not a logo.
What did you say it was?
Flag.
So why is it a logo? But I understand you. I understand your confusion.
You can have a logo in the flag.
Yeah.
It's coming from South
Like United States flag like
I thought they have a flag with symbol.
You can have a logo in a flag. You can have a logo in a shirt. You can have a logo on a car. So a car is a car. A car is not a logo. So the flag is a flag, right? do you understand me? So, but I understand your confusion because it looks like red, gold, green, and a star in the middle. So, thinking that that's it. Okay, so people are saying that when it comes to logo design, you are going to use Illustrator. And I wanted to disprove it. That we can also use Photoshop to do just about anything that Illustrator can do, right? Because some people are like, Photoshop is more pixel based, Illustrator is a vector. And trust me, we can use the pen tool to also design logos. You can see the logos here. There's no, some of them you don't even need the pen tool. It's just shapes. Alright, so if someone told you to imitate this logo, I don't know what it is. It looks like what? What logo is that? What brand is that? Huh? No, this is CMI. But I'm talking about this one. Or this one. This one consists of what? What do you think is the... What's the name? I can't even pronounce that. Please, I told you. Magic text. What? Okay, so let's open our Photoshop and then try and design some logos. We'll just start with abstract random logo, but we first have to understand the pen tool. So we are going to use the pen tool, and the pen tool is not only for logos, it's for creating unique shapes and vector shapes. So open Photoshop. So no question on the logo thing. Please, I'm done. I think last week I gave some research.
3D looking logos for
Logo or design. We have not started the logo design. So what were we talking about? What was the research? When I give research and you sit down quiet, nobody will talk. I think I gave some research that you should go and do something. Was it in Premiere Pro? What was it? Oh, okay, because you said it, you remember. Yeah, it's true. So you did some research on that. Okay, so when we start, I think Premiere Pro will be tomorrow, right? We are editing the videos we shot, so. But can you say it without, what was it? And I still want it. No, we are okay, so let's talk about the pen tool and see how we can create with it. Please create 2000 by 2000 workspace. So we are going to talk about how to use the pen tool in creating shapes and what the pen tool actually does in Photoshop. So the first thing to do is to click on P. P is the shortcut to enable the pen tool. Please, this pen tool isn't the same pen tool that we use in Premiere Pro. This is quite different, but it has some similarities with the Bezier and then. So if your pen tool is currently on the free pen, please select the first one, this here. Now, after selecting the pen tool, create an empty layer because I want the whatever shape I'm coming to create to be on the empty layer. Also, come to the top part where the options are and then make this a path. Those people there, I'm sure Classified is doing a good job. I'm sure they don't end up having their own head. Wrong. Working on something. Class B, I hope you they hear me. If you have questions, make you call me then ask you. Make you they sit there then discuss something else. I'll be very disappointed. Okay, so P for the pen tool. And how does the pen tool work? Have you enabled the path selection? We'll come to the shape. So click on the path and let's create a path. How do you create a path? A path is simply a line that is connected by 2 dots or 2 points. So let's just assume that this is point A when we create another point, we have a path. Alright? Then, the path we create, if we continue to create another path, doesn't matter how many of them we create, and then we end up at where we started, we have a geometry, sort of like a shape. So the path we have formed a shape. That is when the different points meet at where we started. We will get the shape out of it. But that's not really important. So let's start the path thing again. You can undo. Create a path from here. This is a simple path. A simple line, and it's connected by 2 dots. These 2 dots, we can decide to make the path a curve by holding control. If we hold control, let's even do it this way, undo. If you create the path and you drag, you know, if you hit the path without drag, if you hit on the screen or your empty layer without dragging, you create 2 dots, right? But if you create the point and drag, you get, and I create another path here and I drag. Right now I'm getting a curve, not a line. I think I'm making this a bit complex. Can I start over? Are you guys with me? Let me try and simplify it. Okay, all I'm saying is that you can make a path by creating 2 dots. So that's this dot here and that dot here. So undo. But we can make a curve when we create a point and we drag and create another point and drag. We make a curve out of what? The path. Is that okay? So when you make 2 dots without dragging the mouse, you have a simple straight line. So for instance, I can make a triangle, and because I did not drag whilst I was creating it, I have straight triangle. But if I do the same and I drag first one here and I drag again and I drag like this, and the last one has already been dragged, so you can't drag it again, and I join this, I'll have a triangle, but I have a triangle which has curves. Please, do you understand it? The pen tool can be used to trace human being, if you understand it. You can use it to trace anything, you can use it to draw. And the reason why it's powerful is that the kind of data you are getting from it is vector. That means that it cannot be it's not a raster. So it doesn't matter how I zoom in, it will still be clear. But when we create raster images, when we zoom in, the pixels at a point will start breaking. But the vector with the pen tool, when we create shapes with the pen tool, they are just mathematical calculations. It will just respond as you zoom in, it will keep on increasing in what? In the width and height. It will never rasterize, or as we say, pixelate. The pixels will not crack. So you can create another point here and another one here by simply, you can create a line, triangle, square, whatever, by just joining the points. But we can make curves when we drag. As we create a point, if you drag, you get curvy what? But let's say we created, so let me do this again. So let's say we created this triangle. Can we still make the triangle have curves? Yes, we can. And the way to do that is simply holding Alt. If you hold Alt and you drag on a point, you can make that point curvy. Please, are you here? Please, let's get it so because I'll be doing things with it and you'll be like, I don't understand. You didn't understand because you are not following. So you listen to my Nkwasiase and do it. After some time you see say no be Nkwasiase. Should I go over this one? Mordecai, do you understand it? Should I go? Okay, so some people will pretend like they are not. I'm saying that if you create points without dragging, you have what? Straight what? Lines. But whenever you drag, you get handles. Those handles will help you to create curves. So for instance, let me do this again. If I create a point and I drag, you see that there's a handle associated with the point. And I create another one here and I drag. There's another handle associated with what? That point. And I do the other one here and I come here and drag. And I join this one, the last one. Each one of these have handles. And the handles were created because I dragged whilst I drag on the point whilst I was creating it. And I'm saying that it doesn't really matter. You can still create straight lines and make handles out of the point. So then how do you do that? You have to hold Alt. And then when you hold Alt, you see that the tool will change to a Bezier what? It will change. It is no more the pen tool. It's the other part of the pen tool. So if you hold Alt, it will change and then it will help you to create handles. Can we see the handle here? So then that creates this handle. Brad Nicholas, why are you laughing? Father of the nation. Share with us what's funny. Okay, so we can create handles by holding Alt, but how can we move the handle? You move the handle by holding Control. If you hold Control and you select this, you can actually move what? The handle. If not, if you don't hold Control and you click on the point, it will break or delete the point. Do you understand it? So if you hold Control, you can move what? The point. If you don't hold Control and you try to click on it, you see a minus sign with the what? With a tool indicating that you are going to subtract or delete what? That point. So if the same tool, the pen tool, can add points. So I can add different points without holding Control, without holding Alt. It can help me to add points. If I want to move the point, I have to hold Control to be able to what? Move what? The points. Please, are we here? I was supposed to download some cloth. What is it? A drug for but I am passing more. I record the why. Me school no any papa biasa. Ya me bubu ma pre. I want obi na ya che na akoshim 10 years. Ron, another can be a man. You turn a lawyer by force. Okay, so you hold control and move points. Alright, but what about if we wanted to break points? Break it. Like for instance, so let me please, if you want to delete the path, you have to come to you see that there's layer, there's channel, and there's path. So this is where your path is. You can actually just drag the path and put it in the trash can. That actually deletes what? The path. Or just right click, you see delete and delete. So I want to create this path. So triangle. And please, when I'm done, I'll go around and check what everyone has done. I want this triangle. I want this part to be curvy, so I'll create this curve here. I'll do the same here. Hold control and click on it and push this here. Click this, push this here. Push this one here. I want to create sort of like push this here. Hold control, move this handle towards the side, and then I'll hold Alt and create curve here. But I'm going to break. So this is the new thing I haven't talked about. To break, you know, if you hold control, you can actually move the handle, and you can move it here on the point. But how do you break it? Let's say I'm no more interested, because if I hold control, this handle part is also controlling this side. To break it, you have to hold Alt, and that will break what? The handle. So I want to create something like this. And when I'm done, I'll right click and I'll come to fill path. Right? There are so many things I can do here. I can make a selection also from this and do shift backspace, and then I'll fill this with what? Color. Right? So let's do this. Don't say you do it your own way. Should I redo it? Pardon? On the top. Control D. I still have not lost my selection. My selection is here. I told you, sorry, my path. If you click this, you reactivate the path. But I'm going to delete it because I have to start all over. So drag and drop this here. And that does not delete my shape that I just created. Because remember, the shape was created on an empty layer. So let's try this again. Delete the shape as well, create an empty layer. Okay, I started with just a simple triangle. Do we have this triangle? Good. So I want to make the top part of the triangle have curves, because I didn't drag it when I was creating it, so they are straight lines. So what I'll do is I'll have to hold Alt and drag on this to get what? To get my curve. Now I'll do this whilst holding Alt to get this. Now I have the curve, but I need to fine tune it. I want it to look like a leaf or like an egg or something like that, or a teardrop. So what I'll do is I have to hold Control. If I hold Control, I can now click on this and move it. That is holding Control. If you don't hold Control, I've told you it will break it. It will delete it. So hold Control and push this. It doesn't work like that. Hold control. It's moving the whole thing. Very good. Don't worry. Double click on the dot. You now have access to moving there. Whilst you are holding control. You can also do that with A and A. If you click A, you will get the path selection that moves this. If I click A again, this one, I get a direct word. So, but the easiest way is what I'm trying to show you, using the control. The first, when you hold control first, it will move the entire path. But usually you don't want to move the entire path. You probably want to move one point. So you double click on the point, then you have access to that particular point. So I'll still click on P for the pen tool and hold what? Control. Then after that, I can move this here. Now I want to, if you hold control while still holding control, you can stretch this. Let me have this here. Hold control, click this. The same control is going to. There's any I was reading, a coffee disaster. And theater. So control, push this. Your best friend should always be Control Z. That's why you shouldn't be afraid to experiment. Now, Muhammad, Corey, I'm the buyer. I'm a participant in now. You are watching your colleagues and, yeah, some. Please, do we have it like this? I'm saying you should get something like this, and so control move this. Why? I don't know. Huh? I don't know. Go to the it's not rendering, so click on the move to move. Now start clicking when you yeah. So if the computer is slow, it will be giving you 2 times, but it's just one. Okay, do we have it looking like this? Do we have it like this? Oh, I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
Oh, you mind me? Then we can click on Alt. We don't have a handle here. If you hold Control, what you have is just a point. There's no handle. You see the handles we will handle. We say handle behind anything. Anyhow. So I want to create a handle. He says I told you have to hold Alt and drag to create what? A handle. So now we have a handle. But this handle, I want to break it. If I don't break it, they all move like that. Whatever I do here influences the opposite side. But I want to control one side, leaving the other. That means I have to break it. And breaking it means holding Alt again and then dragging this. So I've broken what? The handle. So I get a shape like this. Please, do we understand it? Then after that, if I right click, I can create, and I can make a selection of this shape. And then once I make a selection, I'll do shift backspace and fill this with color. So I'll fill it with green. The breaking. Simon. Where? Here? I'm saying you should hold Alt. If you hold Alt, you can now break this. It's copying. It's copying the path. No, it shouldn't copy it. Hold Alt and drag. It's also copying for you. You see there are two Alt. Use the other one and see. Then have you done it? Who has been able to do it? Can you help her? Maybe I don't know where she's having the problem. It's not curving. Oh dear. I want to go. I want to color. Please, do you have questions? Hey, I'm going to be a coy bow. But I'm going to go to be you, and I just say, your people say they are. Can we move on? Yeah, Alt.
No, the shift backspace.
No, after that, do you have the path?
Yes. I've selected it.
What do you have one? Okay, so right click and then go to fill what? Fill path. You can also come to the path here, right click, and then you see fill what? Fill path. Then in fact, this is not what I'm looking for. So just come here and make sure your listen is active. In fact, I'm talking about making selection. Okay? The fill path will fill it with the foreground color, this color that is here. Then after that, you do shift what? Backspace, and that shift backspace I will fill with a deeper blue, green, and we should have something like this, right? So Control D. Then we will come to the path selection again. Select the path once again. When you select the path, it becomes active. So I'm using the same path. Then I hold Control, select this, and then whilst I'm holding Control, I'll move this in, what? And then probably just shift this slightly inward. and then I'll do right click, make what? Selection, shift backspace. Sorry, I was supposed to right click, shift backspace, and color. I'll choose a deeper this thing here. So then we have something like this. So I can keep creating shades of what? Green. I don't know. I just got the idea, but which company will use this as their logo? You people, only you guys can tell. Per company of Apple, where per on. No, but you get an idea. I'm going to create different ways of doing this with shapes. Should I do it again? It's not filling. Is the selection active? Shift backspace. Do you get a dialog panel? And so you select the color. And fill it. Are you on a new layer or you are on
Yeah, I'm on that layer.
You should be on a new layer. Create a new layer.
Create a new layer.
You have to create you have to be on a new layer. You probably, and also what you are creating, green or white. The filling, is it white? Because if it's white and it's on white, you will not see.
Green. I chose the green back here. And I'm on the layer we're working on.
You are on an empty layer.
The layer we're working on.
Please, how many of you have been able to do this? No, because you inverted your selection.
I inverted it.
Yes. You see that your selection is blinking here. So come here. And then your selection is inverted. I don't know how it got inverted. You see that the selection is blinking around here. There's another one. So you control E and start again. What is it? Okay, Chuku, say what? What's the problem?
We want to work on this. So from the transform is not.
This is not, we are not using transform. We are using the path. If you select the path, you see that it will be activated. Oh, the path. If you select the path here, you see that the path will be activated. It will come again for you. And then if you want to move the path, you have to click P, the pen tool. That tool is what you will use to move the path. But if you want to move the path whilst you are in the pen tool, you have to click on control. You have to hold control, not click. Hold control. Then you can now move what? This path. Do you understand it? So I can hold control once again and move this slightly inward. Then right click and then make selection once again. I can have as many of these as I want. Maybe the last one I'll make it extremely deep. So then we have something like this. So this one is you can, please are here. After doing the just playing with the shape, you can bring the anchor point here. Control T, bring your anchor point here, so that you can shift this to this side, and probably reduce the size this way. Then if you do Control J to make a copy, flip this one this way, right? Then when you flip it, it's up to you, or whatever you want to do to get something unique. So if you present this and they say, oh, we like the logo abstract, give it to them. Huh? But it has to feel good. The flow has to be good. Do you understand it? If not, they will reject it. So let's do another one. Just random abstract. I just wanted you to see the power of the pen tool. Creating. Maxwell, I don't chance. You don't understand, so I don't know why some of you don't ask questions. But your woman delete when I be before fast. You forget about this one. The other one I'm going to do is still the same thing, so probably follow the same principle. Are you guys here? So quickly create another empty layer. Is it? Then we'll go for the pen tool and just create this. Just create this shape. Now, in fact, you know something? I've been working on this shape, but you can also. I've been working with the path selection, but it is no different from working with the shape tool. Please, can you see this here? So change this one to the shape tool instead. So the difference is that it will be as you draw the path, it will have a fill. You know, when you are drawing with only the path, there's no fill, there's no color. But this time I want to draw a path. I've moved from the path selection to what? The fill. But every shape you create automatically has what? A path. That's why you can see the blue outline around it. It disappears when you click on the move tool and you click outside. That blue disappears, but it is still there. Once you go, you click P for the pen tool and you activate this. You activate the shape, the layer, it will come back. The blue will still come back. Is this one confusing, or we should just use the path now? It's the same thing. It's just that as you draw, by the time you are done, it will be filled with color, and the color will be the color that is here. It's different. This one is better. I'm not done though. I'm not going to leave it like this. I want to make it curvy. I just want to know if you are. Alright. Is everything okay? Okay. Is it? So we hold control and select this and bring the point here. And then bring this other one here. And then we bring this here. Bring this here. Now, I want to make this. Please try and get it closer to mine. Some of you, I don't know whether it is jigsaw or hacksaw you are trying to create. Can you see? What do you know? Oh, did you save it? It will be from here. Check the connection from there. How many of you are here following? Show by hand. Okay. So we need to create curves here. So what do we do? Nabil? Curves here and here. Very good. Hold Alt. And then that will help us to create this. I'm also going to create another curve here. Please, sometimes it inverts. Once I make some style, just turn it round. Depending on where you are pushing it towards. Hold Control and push this here. I want another curve here. This looks too. So I'll do this. And then are you guys here? So push this to the side. Hold Control and bring this here. And hold Control, push this here. The trick is holding Control and Alt. Alt will create the line. After you are Alt will create the handle for you to get a curve. When you are done, the rest is Control. Hold Control to move, hold Control to change the handle. My dear, you don't look okay. Why? Is everything alright? Oh, sorry. But are you following? Alright. So hold Control again, push this here. Hold Control, push this other one here. Push this here. Okay. So I think I'm cool with this shape. We just want something. Okay, Chuku, say what? There's no drawing here. This one. Well, this do not mean anything. It's just for you to get familiar with the pen tool. And probably if someone asks you to design a logo, how you can use the pen tool. Try and get something decent. Then, because this is the shape, I'm going to double click on the far right and I'll apply a gradient overlay. So this gradient overlay, I want it, currently it's radar, I don't like it radar, I want it linear. Then linear, I will change this, you can choose any color though, but I will choose sort of a light pink and it's 175. If you want to follow, I did this at 175. Choose a deep, so if it's red, you choose a lighter red and a very deep red, that's all. If it's blue, choose deep blue. And so we should have something like this. Then after that, what I'll do is click on, please take note of this. Make sure you are not in the pen tool because I want to duplicate this. But if you are in the pen tool, it might duplicate a point instead of duplicating the entire layer. So click on the move tool first and then do Ctrl J to make what? To make a copy. So I just have a copy of this. You are confused. Then the top one, I'll use the arrow keys to move it over. So I'm moving it over like this. So we just have another one. But I want a way to get the tip to match with this one's tip. So I'll select the top one. The person I don't know what I say in any way be here. Now we so only way be here. So I have to go for the pen tool once again, and then I'll hold Control, select this, and then I'll move this towards the side, and then probably push it slightly inward. Push it a little bit inward. Do the same for this one. And then please pay attention. This is the part that I'm going to go into the layer stylus. Like here where we have this, and I'll invert it. Right? So after inverting it, I should get something like this. You understand it? And that's all I want to do. So P for the pen tool. Click Control. Select this here. And then this one. P again for the pen tool. So if you want to move, so we should have something like this. Then Ctrl G to put everything in a folder. Ctrl T, and I'll make it small. Please time continue me movie fast now because we are there a bit another time. You can create a background, add this. I'm going to use it. I'll go over this tomorrow. Don't worry. Tomorrow we have? Okay, so next week. We are still on logo, so those of you who did not get it, don't fret. Keep it cool. We will find a way to. Okay, so once we have this, we can do Ctrl J to make a copy of this entire thing. Put this here, duplicate this, and reduce the size so that you have something like this. Hit Enter, and then click on the arrow, Ctrl T, bring this here. So you see that I'm creating this with vector, and it is. No matter how I zoom in, it will still be very sharp. Do you understand it? It's not going to pixelate. Except based on my distance though. Then you can put these two together. Do Ctrl J, Ctrl T, and then we'll flip it vertical. And then bring the opacity down. This is similar to what we did in how do you call it? Remember we did something like this in I think last 2 weeks when we used the glass. So you just have to do this. Now, if you want it to flow, add a layer mask. After adding a layer mask, click on B for the brush tool. And then feather the edges of the brush. Then I'm going to opacity has to come down. So you see that I'm applying everything that we've done in the past. Oh, why is this thing? Can bring this down. Okay, guys, we have to close. We'll do this next week. We'll do more logos, more 3D looking logos, more using the pen tool. We'll be able to create. I'm not going to see me cry. That's nice.